Alright, gents, welcome to part 2 of 8H. So for question B, we have x minus 3, x plus 4 over x outside of x plus 7. And then instead of multiplying it to another fraction, we've got a division between two fractions. Now, you should all remember that when you're dividing two fractions, dividing by two fractions is the same as multiplying one fraction by the reciprocal of the second fraction. So reciprocal, remember earlier in maybe yesterday's lesson, a over b, the reciprocal of a over b is b over a. So we're going to flip this fraction here. So in the next line of working, my first fraction is going to stay the same. Then I'm going to multiply it by x plus 7 over 3x plus 4. Then we look for what is common. We've got an x plus 7 down the bottom and x plus 7 up the top. Cancel them. We've got an x plus 4 and an x plus 4. Organising new information. On the top, we're left with x minus 3. In the bottom, we're left with x times 3. So now simplified answer is x minus 3 over 3x. Moving on to question C. Here we have x squared minus 4 over 25 times 5x plus 5 over x squared minus x minus 2. The first thing you'll notice is that there are no brackets in these two fractions. And you might also notice that now we have a trinomial as our denominator. So the way we factorize that is going to have to be a little different. When you take a look at this first fraction, I'm hoping you can see that this is a difference of two squares. So that should be pretty easy for you to factorize. Remembering a difference of two squares means that highest common factor of 4 is going to be 2. We're going to have x plus 2, x minus 2 to factorize the top. Then replace our denominator multiplied by factorizing the top numerator. The common factor is 5 outside of x plus 1. Then we get to the denominator, which is a little trickier. So it needs to go into double brackets. The only way we can get an x squared is if we have an x multiplying an x. Then the factors of negative 2 are negative 2 and positive 1, or positive 1 and negative 2. How do we know? Well, I've done that wrong. Again, negative 2 and positive 1, or negative 1 and positive 2. How do we know which one is the correct answer? Well, we need to have a look at the middle term here, which is a negative x. And we need to remember that that negative x is actually negative 1x. So the addition of these terms needs to be equal to negative 1. So negative 2 plus 1 equals negative 1, but negative 1 plus 2 does not equal negative 1. It equals positive 1. So we need to have a x minus 2 and an x plus 1. Now that we have that, we can go through our numerators and denominators and cancel out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel those two, the x plus 1 and x plus 1. Then I'm going to go and find my x minus 2 and x minus 2. What are we going to do with this 25 and this 5? Well, that's quite simple. 25 goes into 5 times. So with our new information, or what's remaining, we have x plus 2 and 1, but we don't need to write the 1, over 5 by itself. So removing the brackets, tidy it up, x plus 2 over 5. Hit pause, copy it down. I'm going to move on to you'll notice that in all of the examples, by the second line of working, there were numerators and denominators that could be cancelled. So if you are doing your work and you get to the second line of working and you do not have numerator and denominator that can be cancelled to simplify the fraction, then you've done something wrong in your first line of working of how you've rearranged that. So you should be able to go from a rearrangement like a reciprocal into cancellation, or maybe into a bit of a factorization into cancelling. That's what you're looking for. Good luck.